All right, let's dive right in. Why do experts believe the world is entering a new era? Well, I want you to take a second and just imagine waking up 10 years from now. Your doctor? It's an artificial intelligence. Your car actually drives itself. Your home is completely managing its own electricity. You've got robots doing all the dangerous jobs, and kids are learning with AI tutors.
And perhaps most remarkably, and this is wild to think about, discoveries that once took literal decades, they're happening in just a few days. Now, does all this sound like a sci-fi movie? Well, it's not anymore. Around the globe, scientists, economists, historians, military analysts, and tech leaders are increasingly saying the exact same thing.
The consensus is absolutely clear. Humanity is entering a new era. And this isn't happening because of just one single event. No, it's because several massive, historic transformations are all happening at the exact same time. Throughout history, civilizations have hit these major turning points. Think the agricultural revolution, the industrial revolution, the digital revolution. Well, a lot of experts believe we are right in the middle of witnessing another one. And today, we're going to explore exactly why.
Section 1. The fastest technological revolution. An unprecedented pace of progress.
To put this unprecedented pace into perspective, think about this. It took humanity thousands of years just to invent the wheel. It took centuries to figure out how to fully harness electricity, and decades to build the internet. But artificial intelligence, that has advanced dramatically in just a few short years. Literally never before has technology evolved this quickly in human history. In practice, AI can now do things like write reports, translate languages, and generate full images and videos. But it goes way deeper than that. It can assist doctors with actual diagnoses, it can help engineers design products, and it dramatically accelerates scientific research. And unlike previous technologies, AI actually improves by learning from vast amounts of data, which is exactly what allows this progress to happen at such a crazy, unprecedented pace. Actually, a lot of researchers compare today's AI revolution to the arrival of electricity or the internet. But they think it could potentially be even more transformative.
Which, of course, naturally leads us to the question that is on pretty much everyone's mind right now. Will AI take our jobs? It is a totally fair concern for sure, but the answer is a bit more complex than just a simple yes or no. If we look back, history shows us that technological revolutions do eliminate some occupations, but they also create entirely new industries. Think about it. Machines definitely reduced the need for a lot of manual labor during the Industrial Revolution, just like computers completely transformed offices during the Digital Revolution. Today, the expectation is that the AI revolution will automate a lot of those repetitive tasks while simultaneously driving up the demand for human skills. We're talking about things like creativity, leadership, critical thinking, ethics, and complex problem solving. Experts generally agree that adapting and learning new skills is going to become increasingly critical.
Section 2. Redefining life and work, medicine and space exploration.
So the very fabric of human health is changing rapidly. Medicine is quite literally being reinvented right now. Researchers are using AI to analyze medical images, spot complex patterns in diseases, and massively accelerate drug discovery. We're seeing advances in genetics, personalized medicine, and biotechnology that are making treatments so much more tailored to individual patients than we ever thought was possible. Scientists are even exploring brand new therapies for conditions that were once considered completely untreatable. Now, obviously, a lot of challenges definitely remain, but medicine is advancing at just an extraordinary pace. And as we look from the microscopic all the way up to the cosmic, space exploration has entered an entirely new chapter. Government agencies and private companies are launching way more missions than ever before. The moon has become a major destination all over again, while Mars definitely remains a long-term goal. And at the same time, we've got these incredibly powerful telescopes continuing to discover distant galaxies and study planets way outside our solar system. But here's the thing, space is no longer just about scientific curiosity. It is becoming critically important for things like global communications, navigation, security, research, and some really massive future economic opportunities.
Section 3. New Global Power Dynamics, Economy, Energy, and Global Influence.
The world is changing politically and economically, and it's creating this shifting global balance of power. We're seeing several nations investing heavily to secure their future. The really key areas of investment include artificial intelligence, advanced manufacturing, semiconductor technology, quantum computing, renewable energy, and cybersecurity. Global competition is increasingly centering right on innovation, technology, and economic resilience. In fact, a lot of analysts believe that these specific areas are going to shape international influence for decades to come.
And driving all of this innovation, well, it requires immense power, which means our energy systems are having to evolve. Countries are continuing to invest in this massive energy transformation. We're talking solar, wind, hydroelectric, nuclear, battery storage, and other new technologies. They have to do this to meet demand while also trying to improve efficiency and reduce emissions. But simultaneously, global electricity demand is just rising sharply. Why? Well, mostly because of electric vehicles, rapidly expanding data centers, and all this new AI infrastructure. Balancing affordability, reliability, and sustainability, it honestly remains one of the world's absolute biggest challenges right now.
Now, let's look at how this trickles down into our daily lives, because the economy and education are completely being redefined. We are seeing some massive shifts here: digital payments, online commerce, remote work, cryptocurrencies, and automation. All these developments are fundamentally changing how businesses operate and how people earn a living. A lot of careers now involve working with colleagues, clients, or customers who are located all over the world. Consequently, economic opportunities are increasingly depending on digital skills and lifelong learning. Which, makes total sense, because education today looks incredibly different than it did even just a generation ago. Students now have access to interactive online courses, AI learning assistants, virtual laboratories, digital libraries, and totally personalized learning tools. Now, technology obviously cannot replace curiosity, discipline, or good human teachers, but it absolutely can expand access to knowledge for millions and millions of people.
However, it's important to remember that not all the changes we're facing are purely technological. The world also faces a ton of shared global challenges. This includes climate adaptation, public health preparedness, food security, managing water resources, cybersecurity, and, of course, the responsible development of artificial intelligence. These issues affect so many countries simultaneously, which makes international cooperation increasingly important. We are just living in a highly interconnected era.
Section 4. A historic turning point. Why historians compare this moment to past revolutions.
Historians often point to a few key periods that fundamentally changed human civilization. You got the agricultural revolution, which transformed how humans lived. Then the Industrial Revolution transformed production and transportation. And the Digital Revolution transformed communication and information. But today's convergence, this incredible combination of AI, biotechnology, advanced computing, robotics, and space exploration, it's totally different. It's different because several major revolutions are literally unfolding at once. That powerful combination is exactly why so many scholars describe this exact period as a historic transition.
Section 5. The human skills needed. What cannot be automated.
As technology undoubtedly continues to evolve, certain human qualities are going to remain incredibly difficult to automate. Among the absolute most valuable skills for this new era are critical thinking, adaptability, creativity, emotional intelligence, ethical judgment, communication, collaboration, and continuous learning. People who can combine these uniquely human skills with a strong technological knowledge, well, they are likely to be extremely well positioned for future opportunities. At the end of the day, it's about synergy, not replacement.
So, as we summarize everything we've covered today, the core message is this: the future is not predetermined. Every generation tends to believe they're living through important events, right? But history suggests that only a very few generations experience changes that reshape nearly every single aspect of society. Many experts believe ours may be one of them. We are living through a period of just extraordinary transformation across AI, medicine, energy, space, and the global economy. In fact, the next decade could change humanity more than the last 100 years. While no one can predict the future with 100% certainty, the choices made today by governments, businesses, educators, scientists, and just ordinary citizens, they're going to influence exactly how these technologies are used and who actually benefits from them. The world is changing faster than ever before, and simply understanding those changes may be one of the absolute greatest advantages anyone can have. So I want to turn it over to you with this final thought. What change do you think will have the biggest impact on humanity over the next decade? Take a look at all the massive shifts we've covered in this explainer today, and let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Keep learning, stay curious, and I'll catch you in the next one.